What does it take for a real person, a historical figure, to become a god? Not in a myth, but in actual, recorded history. Well, today, we're diving into the incredible, true story of a man who died almost 2,000 years ago, only to be reborn as a deity who's still worshipped by millions. This is the amazing story of Guan Yu.
So, that's the big question, right? How does that even happen? You know, it's a journey that takes centuries, and it involves everything from emperors to epic novels and just the sheer power of a really good story. So let's get into it.
And this, right here, is the wild contrast at the heart of this whole thing. On one side, you have the hard fact Guan Yu, the man, was captured and executed in the year 220. Story over, right? But then, on the other side, you have today's reality. That same man is worshipped as a powerful god. The journey from that first column to the second is what this is all about. To even begin to understand the god, you've got to start with the man. So let's rewind. We're going all the way back to 3rd century China, smack in the middle of the chaotic Three Kingdoms period. Guan Yu wasn't some myth. He was a real, flesh-and-blood, historical person.
So who was this guy? Well, first and foremost, he was a warrior, a general famous for being an absolute force on the battlefield. But honestly, more than his skill with a blade, he was known for his character. The seeds of him eventually becoming a god were planted right here, in 2 core virtues, loyalty and honor. And for him, these weren't just nice ideas, they were the code he lived and ultimately died by.
And here's the crazy part. Guan Yu's story doesn't really get going until after he's dead. Yeah, his execution in 220 AD, that wasn't the end. It was the starting gun. It was the real beginning of his transformation from a man into a legend.
And listen, this did not happen overnight. For the first few hundred years after he died, people were basically telling ghost stories about him. You know, tales of his spirit showing up to set things right. Then, fast forward to the 14th century, and boom, his story gets immortalized in one of China's greatest epic novels, Romance of the Three Kingdoms. This book was a massive cultural phenomenon, and it took Guan Yu from being a historical figure to a household name, a true national folk hero.
But becoming a folk hero wasn't the end of the line, not even close. The next stage of his journey got a huge push from a much more powerful force, the state. The emperors of China looked at the legend of Guan Yu and saw a massive opportunity.
And why would they do that? Well, think about it. If you're an emperor, Guan Yu is the perfect poster boy. His legendary loyalty and his strong sense of honor were the exact virtues you'd want all your subjects to have. He basically became the ultimate state-sponsored role model for how everyone should behave.
And this wasn't just some vague honor. Oh no. This was an official step-by-step promotion plan for a guy who'd been dead for centuries. First, imperial decrees formally made him a duke. Then, he got promoted to prince. And then, and this is just incredible, he was canonized with the status of an emperor. The final move was the biggest of all. He was officially deified and given the title Saintly Emperor Guan.
And just like that, with the emperor's seal of approval, the transformation was complete. The man, the general, the folk hero, he finally crossed over into full-blown divinity. It's a process that actually has a name.
The term is apotheosis. It's what we call it when a regular person is elevated to the rank of a god, and that is exactly what happened to Guan Yu. He didn't just become some spirit or saint, he basically got a corner office in the celestial bureaucracy.
So, what were his godlike powers? Well, it was pretty simple. They were his human virtues just cranked up to 11. Suddenly, his famous loyalty and honor weren't just personality traits, they were actual superpowers. He became the divine embodiment of righteousness itself, a god who could pray to for justice, for protection, and for success.
Okay, so that's the history. Pretty amazing. But why are we talking about him now? Because believe it or not, this isn't just some dusty old story. Guan Yu is a very active and a very relevant god here in the 21st century. And you will not believe the range of people who follow him today. You've got business owners praying to him for prosperity, martial artists honoring his strength, families look to him as a guardian. But the most interesting pairing, by far, has to be police officers and triad members.
So this is where it gets really interesting, the central paradox of his worship today. On the one hand, police forces all over Asia have shrines to him. He's their guy, the patron saint of justice and order. And at the exact same time, criminal organizations, the triads, also worship him as their patron deity because they value his code of brotherhood and loyalty above all else.
He is, incredibly, both a god of law and a god of outlaws.
So, in the end, that's really the core of it all, isn't it? His story is proof that some human virtues, like loyalty and honor and righteousness, can be so powerful, so resonant, that they literally can't be contained in one lifetime. They become something more. They become divine.
So, I'll leave you with this to chew on. Guan Yu's journey from man to God was fueled by stories and by emperors over hundreds and hundreds of years. It really makes you wonder, in our world today, is there any hero, any story, or any set of values that's powerful enough to last for the next 2,000 years?